writers. I'm so pleased that you could join us for another Prompted Publication interview. Today, Matt Bates is joining me, and we're very excited because his short story that he wrote has been taken up in an anthology. So we are going to chat about that a little bit today and find out more about how Matt goes about his process and what he gets up to. So thanks for joining us, Matt.
Heck yes. I'm very excited to be here. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Okay. Matt, let's get started. So, if you can, this is a big question. Who are you? What do you do for a day job? And then, besides the day job stuff, what does your writing life look like? Just kind of
Yeah.
tell us what you get up to.
Okay. Yeah. I'm Matt Bates. I work in retail technology for my paycheck, right? When I'm not writing or doing creative things. I've been doing that a pretty long time. Started working in the mall when I was a kid and just kind of kept going. I work for a big retailer now, and I've been on the leadership side of things for that for the last 8 years or so. And I've worked all across the country in North America. That's where I am right now. When I'm not working, I like to be as creative as possible. I play drums in a band. I write as often as I possibly can, and Deadline for Writers has really helped kind of kicked me in the butt to stay on deadline. I'm a huge deadline guy. I love goals and like time bound goals. And there's definitely been some things I've published on the website or out in the world where it wasn't perfect, but it had to go out. And I think done is better than perfect sometimes. That's just how I go about it. I think about throughout my music career, I've been playing music for my entire life, and I've run across people who are still working on albums from like 20 years ago. It's like, dude, just put the thing out at this point. And I think that sometimes, that's a good approach to this. Married, have a dog. I don't know when this is going out, but we just started sharing with family and friends. The hat is not ironic. We are expecting our first kid, which is very exciting.
Congratulations.
Yes. So like I said, we just started sharing with family and friends. I don't know when this is going out, so I got to start telling people in my inner circle pretty quick before they find out on the internet. But yeah, so that's new and exciting. Yeah, that's me.
Oh, that is fantastic. I'm so happy for your great news.
Yeah.
Big life event.
Big
So,
news. Yes.
yeah, no, very exciting. Let's quickly pop back. Just you thinking about you're in the leadership side of things. I know the anthology is a lot about leadership. So can you tell us a little bit about how that happened and how did the short story come about? And
Yeah.
what did you?
Yes. So I think, kind of coming back to that, done or I don't know, published is better than like perfect or whatever, however you want to phrase that. I was really worried about potentially looking at like writing like contests or whatever those are, kind of having like that self-doubt. Like in my music world career, I will step on a stage with anybody without, I'm just fearless. But this is a whole new type of creativity for me. And so I started looking for writing competitions at the end of last year, just being like, all right, screw it. Like, just put something out that's not on Deadline for Writers, and just see if something gets picked up, even if you just get feedback or like a rejection letter. At least you're moving forward with something. And writing about leadership was just kind of came easily. And I hope it comes across in the video. I'm pretty laid back and loose guy. So when it comes to like my leadership style, I tend to give a lot of leash and a lot of leeway to my teams.
Mm-hmm.
And and the writing competition was about leadership and approaching it with a sense of humor. And when I saw that was the competition, I was like, well, that's what I do every day. So this seems to be a perfect fit. I think I got a good shot at least getting denied. So when I submitted to the contest, I was looking through some of the notes and some of the things I had been working on for deadline for writers, and I was like, oh, I have this story about working from home. That was a whole thing, trying to, multiple working adults in a house trying to like be on calls, and the dog is barking, and
Mhm.
there's just so much humor that goes into that when you're trying to have a serious like, you know, video call with your team or something about sales or, something, and then like your wife comes in, and gives you a sandwich, or or your dog just starts freaking out in the background, or whatever it is, or you forgot to like clean up, and everybody can see your life is a total mess.
Mhm.
So um I wrote about, when we were in transition between living places, when everybody was working from home, and so we were living with my in-laws, and I lucked out. I have great in-laws, but still, four working adults in a household: my wife, me, her parents. It was a mess. So there was a ton of um, material to work with, and so I put something together, and I hit send, and just let it go. Didn't maybe I'll get rejected, maybe they'll get pick it up, I don't know. And it got picked up, and I was super excited. I made my wife read the email to me like 10 times, because I was like, I can't believe it, I'm going to be published, this is nuts. um so yeah, that's kind of how it came to be. And I have my copy that I've been like sharing with people and all that good stuff, so it's great to kind of see your name in print. You can do it. And this tool, what you're doing here with the writing community, really helped kind of push this forward. So this is the
Oh,
physical copy of the win.
it's the thing.
Yeah, it's the
No,
thing.
no, congratulations. That's absolutely amazing. Um, so you've spoken about, so one of my questions is like, do your other creative pursuits, because that's one interesting thing about writers is I've never met a writer who only does one creative
Yeah.
activity. We all have multiple activities. So you've mentioned music. Do you find like you can isolate the two, or does the writing lead into the music and the music influences the writing? How do you find
That's a
the creativity
that's a
plays together?
that's a great point. So I don't like, I'm a drummer. So typically, like, I'm not Ringo. I don't write songs. Yeah. Like,
Yes.
typically, I'm a collaborator, and I think that's something that they mesh, they intertwine, they bleed into each other. I think that, having done music for so long, like I said, I've been playing music since I was a kid, and being in bands and touring and like doing all that stuff, being really lucky. Like, we, put records in store and all that. Like, we did some great things. That just gives me, it bled into this writing thing that I was like curious about over the last few years, but didn't know really where to start. But like, I always look to um, my drumming career as something that I'm super comfortable with, and that I'm not scared of, and that like I can step into almost any room. And there's I'm not the best drummer in the world, but I feel fairly confident that I can hold my own against a lot of people, and that's what kind of pushed me to start to mess with this a little bit, and start to put some words down. And I've stayed really consistent with it over the last, 4 or 5 years, of like trying to publish something at least once a month, even if it's on my personal blog, or, through deadlines. And, this is, now that this is like a physical thing, like, this is just going to continue to push that even further, and give me even more confidence in what I'm doing there.
Hmm. Okay. Was there something specific that made you start writing, or that you wanted to start writing, or pushed you towards it?
Yeah. So, like, just like everybody else, in when lockdown happened, just like a quick backstory, my wife and I, we were living in California, and decided to move back to Philadelphia, where all of our family is, in January of 2020,
Whoa.
having no idea what was about to happen. Right. So we were like, cool. We had been traveling for a few years, living in different cities throughout, the states, and we were like, we're gonna move home. We're gonna see family. We're gonna stop missing out on birthdays. We're gonna see friends. I'll get back
So
playing with
sorry.
all my friends. And, I was really excited to be around, I had pockets of musicians, where in the different cities we lived in, but like, this is home base. So like, I know tons of people that play music. So finding people to play music with wasn't going to be a struggle. And, um, we got here end of January, like 4 weeks later, everything's
Yeah.
shut down. And that was like, okay, well, if I can't play music with friends, my drums are in storage because we're in between places, right? So I was like, I can't do that. Like I don't have anything to really be creative with, so I just started writing and starting putting words on paper. And and then I started Googling around. I was like, there's got to be like an online writing community. There's so many forums out there. There's got to be something. And it really wasn't that hard to find something, right? You put writing community into Google, something's going to pop up. And I ran
Hmm.
across deadlines, and I was like, oh, I love deadlines. What is this all about? And that's what kind of spawned this whole thing. So I
Cool.
mean, like your website and what you do brought me to this, and really helped me. And the
Cool.
community is great because I feel like I get a ton of feedback there,
Hmm.
what works and what is not working. So
Yeah. Well, and it's a hardworking bunch of writers. So, yeah, and I think they give you good advice. So that's very cool.
yeah.
Um, so this is always a weird question. Okay, so you've had your short story published and it's amazing and you're holding the book in your hand. But what would you consider to be literary or publishing success? When would you really think that you've made it as a writer?
Oh man, I don't know. I think I've messed with this question a lot, especially as I've been getting older. Like I I don't want to be rich. I don't want to be like famous would be cool, right? But like really, what success is like to me is just being able to pay your bills and like support your family and have like a very happy life, and that's what I'm trying to build. And I think if I could pay my bills and my wife is happy and my child is taken
Mm.
care of, like I think that would be. I mean, this is success. I'm being interviewed about writing. I just like this is. I think this is cool as can be. So I think that yeah, I don't know. Like I consider this success, and if this goes further, that's just like even better. That's just like the
Fantastic.
cherry on top. So like, I'm
Okay.
pretty easy guy to please, and I think that like having your priorities straight, I don't need a mansion, I don't need the fanciest car in the world. I don't even know. I have like a 20-year-old Subaru. Like I don't care. you
Long
know
as it goes.
Yeah, like I think, if people were happy to read what I was writing, that would be enough success for me. And whether that was 10 people or 100 people or a million people, that'd be great. It would be cool,
Brilliant.
like if I ended up doing a book signing one day, that would be insane. But but I'm happy that I've been published once, and that it's not going to stop me. I'm not going to stop continue, but I don't know. I'm pleased with where I am right now.
Fantastic. No, it's good enough to be pleased about. So it's definitely something to be
Yeah,
pleased about.
yeah.
Um, what is the hardest part about writing for you?
Getting started. You
That was
s-
you had that one nailed.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm a huge post-it guy. I have post-its literally on the wall behind this computer, and I try to. I like writing about like humor and like keeping it light, and whether it's like fiction or nonfiction, and um, when you sit down, I mean, it takes, I don't know what other people's processes are, but like I have to block time and like tell my wife, like, that I'm gonna just like be in the side room. If you walk by, it might look like I'm just staring at a blank screen. It's probably because I'm just staring at a blank screen. uh,
It's process.
uh, yeah, yeah, it's the process. And I have these post-its of ideas, and I'll like put like 10 or less sentences down. I'm like, this is crap, and I'll start over and I'll start over and I'll start over. So I think starting is definitely the hardest part, but like you got to start. Um, because if you don't, it's never going to get done, and you just have to, you gotta just start writing anything, or and like even in the thing we published this week, or yeah, today, which was today, we published this morning.
Today.
Yeah, like I don't even like. I must have reworked that thing 100 times. Like I didn't like the intro. I didn't like, every time I came
Mhm.
back to it, I was like, this is not great. But you got to start, man. You got to put something down, and I keep coming back to this. Done is better than perfect. It's done. This is my
Yeah,
fifth story this month or this year. At the end of the year, I plan to have 12 more. I've been doing it for a couple years.
brilliant.
I'll have a ton of essays. If anybody's ever like, I wonder
Mm.
if do you have any material? I'll be like, yeah, brother, yeah, I got a ton of material.
It is, and you build up a nice body of work. I think that's what the nice
Yeah,
thing about it is, in a very slow,
yeah,
consistent manner. So that's very good. But yeah, I mean, I find with my writing, I have to finish something to edit it. So that's where I like this whole just get it done and then you can fix it. That's
yeah.
that's really where it comes apart for me. So cool. Reading, what do you like?
So coming back to this leadership theme, I read a ton of like leadership and business style books.
Hmm.
I'm like, I got all. You probably see some books back there. There's a whole bunch next to me on my bookshelf here, but just kind of like looking through Team of Rivals. I'm currently reading. I just did her masterclass as well. Doris Kearns Goodwin.
Hmm.
All about like Abraham Lincoln and how he put together teams. Daniel Pink. Who else we got over here? Gary V. Uh, some more Daniel Pink. Talk Like Ted. I read a lot about Lincoln. I just read the Dave Grohl book. This computer's
Cool.
propped up by the Rick Rubin book that just came out, I think, less than a year ago. So I like to read a lot of like that stuff because I like to get in the head of like people that I look up to or admire or like
Hmm.
think we're good leaders, and that's where I get a lot of like my leadership style from. Um, when I'm not reading that, I don't really read a ton of fiction. I do like Carl Hyzon. I think that's how you say his name.
Hmm.
He did like Bad Monkey, and he's got a whole bunch of books, and that book is about to be a Apple TV show.
Cool.
Um, so I do like to let my brain go with some of that stuff, but really when I'm reading, I want to get something out of it. It's kind of how I approach like TV and stuff too. I don't really watch a ton of TV, and if I'm going to watch something, it's usually like a documentary or something. My wife thinks I'm
Okay.
very boring.
I think that's a very grown-up decision to make. No, that's good. I mean, no one can tell you why you read, and we all read for entertainment, and we have different versions of that. So
Yeah.
good. Um, what advice do you have for our writers? What could you tell them
What a
if?
big question.
Yeah, we don't go for the small ones here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just don't think of myself as somebody who should be giving advice, but I'll take it. The What advice would I get? I would just say start. Like I think that's everybody. Like whether it's at work or whether it's like going for in music or any creative thing. Like I think like everybody gets this like in their stomach like feeling of like, oh, what if it's not good? What if I get rejected? What if people don't like it? What if it's like, I don't know, man. Just get started and don't be afraid to hit the send button or the publish button or have somebody close to you read it or listen to it or whatever it is. Because I think you'd be amazed at what you can accomplish if you just hit send or just go. I don't think stress. I don't know, like stress about like this stuff doesn't come from the work. The work is fun. I think the stress comes from like inaction and like thinking about the what ifs. It's like who cares about the what ifs? Just go. And that's treated me really well throughout my life. That kind of like action orientation piece and trying to be fearless, even if you know are nervous. Just go. Just hit send. Put something out. Do cool stuff.
Awesome. No, I think that is fantastic advice. It is true. It is the inaction that stresses us out. So, it's this thing that sits on your shoulder. I should be. I'm supposed to. Why aren't
Yeah,
I? I should be. And that kind of compounds. So, no, I think
because
that's
you're gonna,
fantastic.
yeah, you're gonna fail. You're gonna mess up. You're gonna get made fun of. Like it is what it is. But who cares? Like it's your life. Who cares?
You're doing the thing. It's
Yeah.
cool. No, very, very nice. Okay, my very last question is a very important question. Um, what was your favorite book as a child?
Favorite book as a child. So that's so funny. I didn't really start reading until like late. I was a huge Goosebumps guy, so that's immediately coming
Cool.
to mind. I actually have them all right here. I collect them. So I guess that's another thing that I read because I do
Mhm.
try to read a couple of those in the summer, like when we like go on vacation, just as like like beach books or whatever.
Yeah,
And it's
fun.
super funny to revisit them, you know, 20 years later and like know the book in and out. But still fun to read. I think R.L. Stein, that dude, he did a great job giving us a ton of entertainment as kids. So if you consider young adult reading, that like third-ish grade, R.L. Stein and Goosebumps, definitely.
Brilliant. Okay, no, good fun. And I mean, I love the series, so it was lots of fun, and it's so cool to read. So no, brilliant. Um, but thank you, Matt. Congratulations with your
Thank
publication.
you.
Congratulations with the new baby on the way. That's so exciting.
Yeah,
Please give our love to the mom as well.
I will.
And yeah, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. And best of luck with your
Abs-
writing.
Absolutely. I appreciate everything you're doing and thank you for the opportunity.
It's such a pleasure.